G'day cabinet makers, Wes Zandt here from the Down Under Centre. This video is just a little bit about what's involved in the skills assessment process and to give you a little bit of an insight of how a cabinet maker makes the move to Australia. So the first thing that you would need to do is we don't want you to do a skills assessment if you can't use it for the purpose of a visa. So the first thing we'd ask you to do is jump on our points calculator, complete it, and then we can arrange a time to have a chat. We don't charge any money for consultations, and we've got lots of cabinet making job roles in Australia. Also, we deliver the skills assessment, so it's going to work quite well. So how a visa to Australia works, the first thing you do is you find your occupation on the skilled list if you're looking for a skilled visa. After you've found that, the next part of the process is you need to complete a skills assessment. Now, why is a skills assessment required? A skills assessment is required so you can show the Department of Immigration that you have the necessary skills. So we can't just, for immigration to issue a visa, they have to put measures in place, and one of the measures they've put in is a skills assessment. So who can deliver the skills assessment? Australia Trade Training College. We can get that sorted. It's a two-part process. So the Department of Immigration, TRA, have outsourced that work. So if you to ATTC, Australia Trade Training College. So if you hold a UK, Irish, European or South African passport, give our UK office a call and we can run through the process. But the skills assessment is broken into two stages. The first part of the skills assessment is for you to prove on paper you have the necessary skills. Now, there is a minimum requirement of work experience needed. So if you're from the UK, for example, and you hold an NVQ level 3, and you have 3 years of paid work experience pre or post qualification, then you will hit the minimum requirement. If you never completed an apprenticeship, maybe you'll just learn on site, and you never got around to completing it, that's fine, but you would need to prove that you have 5 years of full-time paid work experience. And that depends if you've been self-employed, employed. So, that is the minimum requirement. The second stage of a skills assessment is what we class as a technical interview. That's where you have a chat to one of ATTC's assessors, who's a qualified cabinet maker. They're also a qualified trainer and assessor. So their job is to run through the process. Now, the documentary assessment, I always find this to be the hardest part of the visa process, because as you're gathering the documentation you need for the skills assessment, you're also gathering the years of evidence that you need for your work experience for the points. We can talk about visas another time, or just give our office a call and we can run through that, the visa options, because it does change on a regular basis and there's different options depending on the score that you get. But for the skills assessment, documentary assessment, paper-based, you are required to prove photos, videos, pay documents, tax documents, references, a detailed CV. Quite a lot involved in it. But again, the assessor needs to do that part. So if you're self-employed or employed, there's some different information you need to provide. The Down Under Centre, we can work with you guys through that to make sure that you've got the correct information that you need. The second part of the skills assessment is the technical interview. Don't panic about that. Our assessors aren't there to make life harder for you in any way. They're simply there to chat with you, make sure that everything you've got on paper, your qualification, is all legit. Their job is to tick units of competency. So each occupation, each qualification that is issued, the completion of the skills assessment, you will receive your full Australian qualification. And that's obviously a successful completion of the skills assessment. You receive your full Australian qualification, as well as the document you need for the visa, which is a TRA skills assessment. So the assessor's job is to tick the boxes. So the more information you can put in the documentary assessment is on the paper base, the easier your technical interview is going to be. But again, the assessors aren't there to catch you out. They're just there to do their job. So it's a very relaxed environment. And if you are a cabinet maker, you're not going to have any issues. Now, the Australia Trade Training College is based inside the Down Under Centre, and we're based here in the UK. And our job through this process is to work with you to make sure that you have gathered the correct information. Also that you're doing things for the visa in a certain order. So we can give you support through English test preparation to finding you a job, all the way to making sure the documents are correct for the skills assessing body. And there's a certain pathway to do that. So any questions that you got, we don't charge any money for consultation. So give our UK office a shout. We can go from there. Jobs in Australia for cabinet makers. Guys, we work with lots of different employers all around Australia. Cabinet making jobs is something that always comes up. There's a big market out there for it. You're on the skilled list for a reason. We just need enough, we just need more cabinet makers out there. The Down Under Centre has a product called the DUC Employment Hub where we work with cabinet making employers. We don't promise people jobs, but we turn around to employers and say we've got English speaking skilled migrants arriving with their full Australian qualification and their visa. We all know if you can get offered a job before you actually leave, it makes life a lot easier to get settled. Where do you put the kids in school? Whereabouts are you going to find a house? If you know where you're working, and as a cabinet maker, there is opportunities obviously for you to be working outside, but a lot of the work that cabinet makers do will be in a workshop. So you don't want to be travelling 2.5 hours to a workshop. That's not why you're moving to Australia for. Well, I assume it's not what you want to do. So the next step for you cabinet makers is to give our UK office a call or complete our free visa points calculator or flick our info email a message, and one of our team will get back to you. We're very good at what we do. Australia Trade Training College are wonderful assessors as well, so we can create a very relaxed environment, and we have the knowledge to get you there and explain everything to you for the skills assessment, and if you like, also for the visa process. All right, enjoy Australia. Take care.